Welcome back. And this is short lesson number 2 about death, resurrection, what happens when a person dies. And in the first lesson, I shared with you from the Bible what the Bible says, as I understand it, what happens when a Christian dies. Our body returns to the dust, and our spirit and our soul, which are together, they go to be with the Lord. And so when our body dies, Christians go to be with Jesus in heaven. But what happens when a person who is not a Christian dies? When a person who is not a Christian dies, their body also returns to the dust, and their spirit goes to a place called Hades. Or in the Old Testament, it was called Sheol, or the place of the dead. And I don't have time to go through all of this. I have lessons if you want. I can send you the lessons. But Hades had 2 parts. It used to have 2 parts. It had a place called Hades, and it was hot, it was painful, it was not a good place. It's where the people who rejected God were after they died. And then there's another place called Abraham's bosom, and it was a place of peace and very nice place to be. And so in the Old Testament, when someone who really believed in the Lord died and followed his ways, they went to Abraham's bosom and they waited. And when a person who was not a believer and rejected God, they went to Hades or Sheol as well, but they went to the other part, which is hot. And apparently, you can see, these 2 sides can see each other, but they cannot go back and forth to each other. And so let me read you Luke chapter 16 is where we get a lot of this understanding. Luke chapter 16, verses 19 through 31. There was a certain rich man who was clothed in purple and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. It means he ate good. But there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, full of sores, who laid at his gate, desiring to be fed with the crumbs that fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. So it was that the beggar died, and he was carried by the angels to Abraham's bosom. So there we have, Abraham's bosom is where the believers went in the Old Testament. The rich man also died, and he was buried, and being in torment in Hades, or Sheol. Sheol is the Hebrew word, Hades is the Greek word, the same place. He lifted up his eyes, and he saw Abraham over there, or he saw Lazarus over there in Abraham's place. So, Lazarus, you're in Abraham's place, and I'm in this miserable place. And then he cried, he said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me. Send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. But Abraham said, Son, remember that in your lifetime you received your good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and you are tormented. And besides all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed, so that those who want to pass from here to there cannot go, and those who want to pass from there to here cannot go. And so what do we learn? We learn that people who died in the Old Testament, all of them went to one place, and part of that place was called Abraham's bosom, and that was a nice place, comfortable, and it was peaceful. And then the other part of that place is called Sheol, or in the New Testament it's called Hades. And so Sheol was a place of fire and torment and suffering. And so they could see each other, but they could not pass over. And so when a person who is a Christian dies nowadays, they don't go to Hades, or they don't go to Abraham's bosom. They go directly to heaven. Why? Because when Jesus rose from the dead, and by the way, I'm teaching this on Easter Sunday this year, when Jesus rose from the dead, Abraham's bosom was broken open, And Jesus led all of those people in Abraham's bosom, he led them to heaven. Ephesians chapter 4, he led captivity captive. He led all of those who were held captive. He set them free. And if you read in Matthew, I believe it's Matthew 28, or Matthew 27 maybe, is that there was a great earthquake, and after Jesus rose from the dead, they saw people from the Old Testament days walking around in Jerusalem. What's that all about? And so Jesus emptied out Abraham's bosom, and now every true believer from the beginning until now is in heaven with Jesus. And the unbeliever is still in Hades, a hot place of torment where they're in the process of waiting for judgment for rejecting the Lord. They're waiting for judgment for the bad things that they did, but they're waiting for judgment because they rejected the Lord also. And as you'll see in the next few lessons, is that they're waiting to be judged. The believer will be judged, and the unbeliever will be judged. And so that's what's happening. That all of those in heaven are waiting for the last day, and all of those in Hades are waiting for the last day. They will be judged, and then something will happen to each one of them. Different things for the Christian, different things for the unbeliever. See you in the next lesson.